Now you gotta ask yourself, how did they get this machine in the air? How big of a machine was this? What type of energy could power this machine? Welcome back to another disturbing video that will break your brain. If you guys haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button and let's dive in.
Ancient India rewrites history yet again. 1,000-year-old caves have just been inspected by stonemasons and engineers, and what they found is going to freak you out. These are the Barabar caves. There's 5 of them. Carved into solid granite, the polish is so smooth, it's smoother than machine-polished marble, and slightly less than industrial glass, and 20 times smoother than industrial granite. Professional stonemasons were interviewed about recreating this project and how difficult it would be out of 10, and those are their answers. Most said it was impossible. A company called AGP, started by a former stonemason, scanned him with one of these. It's a spinning laser that creates millions of data points that can reconstruct the caves from the inside out with no distortion. Here are the results. The caves have perfect symmetry in the floor, ceiling, and walls. The walls are angled by just a few degrees. Why? Polishing with the aid of gravity is more than doable. That's what we do. Polishing a vertical wall and a curved ceiling, on the other hand, is... The walls have a perfect angle within 0.1 degrees. You can't even tell with your eyes. Why was this necessary? The acoustics of these caves are also ridiculous. Granite barely absorbs acoustic waves, and the dome at Sudama resonates at 74.9 Hz. This renders speech unintelligible in the chamber. Reverb is the time it takes a sound to decay into nothing. 60 seconds is the max my production software will go. Inside Notre Dame, it'll reverb for about 10 seconds. Sudama is 62, Vapika is 70. When they were studying the acoustics, they discovered that the angled walls reduced the floating echo. The caves were rediscovered in 1785 by the colonizer dudes. No function of the caves has ever been discovered. The historical foundation is based on this crude hack job into the perfect walls. It says the absolutely perfect caves were used as a rain shelter. We can all agree that there was a lot of highly trained craftsmen that were needed to complete this. Yet we see nothing this precise anywhere else in India. How were they trained? How did they carve it with no electricity? Torches would suffocate workers if they didn't get silicosis. That's an incurable disease from inhaling rocks. Didn't seem like a concern. The only things we can compare it to are Nakshi Rostam, the Lycian rock tombs, Petra, and maybe a couple other sites like Kailasa. Kailasa was carved out of a single rock in traditional Indian style, decorated head to toe. This has no decoration and emphasizes the precision. The Rig Veda puts a heavy emphasis on sound. So what were they used for? The clues are in geometry. If you want more clues, check out the documentary this whole video is based on. It's on YouTube and narrated by the lovely Johanna James. Ancient India rewrites
Just another master slash that they lied to us about the ancient technology. We can look at these structures and see this wasn't your average structures. This wasn't handcrafted or nothing. There was some type of advanced machinery going on back in the days. Let me know your comments below. We need to go back and see those archaeological sites and dive even deeper on this.
we can compare it to are Nakshi Rostam, the Lycian.
Nakshi Rostam. Okay. Rostam. Q Rostam.
Or Nakshi Rostam, the Lycian rock tombs.
Lycian rock tombs, Petra. Shout out to Base Forge for this information. Lycian rock tombs.
Petra, and maybe a couple other sites like Kailasa.
Kailasa. I got Kailasa. We're diving in.
This right here is one of the most insane ancient temples I've ever done research on. This is the Kailasa temple located in the Ellora caves in India. While the Kailasa temple is the main focal point of this whole area in the Ellora caves, there are actually 100 different caves within this system. And just one of the many crazy facts about this temple is that it's completely carved out of basalt rock, which is volcanic rock. It's believed to have been built during the 8th century AD during the reign of Christian I, who was one of the rulers of the Rashtrakuta Empire. And it's estimated that 200,000 to 500,000 tons of rock were excavated from this site. And this just blows my mind because if you look at this, it literally looks like it was 3D printed. But it gets even crazier. There's supposedly no leftover basalt rock from this excavation site or anywhere near it, or the tools that were used to build this place. And another thing that I think is worth pointing out is that experts believe that this place was actually excavated from the top down in order to achieve this final result. And of course, just like any other mind-blowing ancient site, we're told that these places were built or created or carved using ancient tools. And if you look at any comment threads on YouTube, you'll see in the comments that people are very sure that there's no way that this was carved using simple tools like we were told. So maybe they were using tools and methods that we're not very familiar with in order to achieve this level of sophistication and precision in this basalt rock. This right here is one of the most
We need a closer look at this. I'm sorry. We got to get a close-up look at this temple. All right, guys, this is the first image I found. We can see this dude over here holding it up. How cool is that? And then they got these details along the wall. This is in India, right? This is fascinating. Oh, this had to be a giant, because look right below. You can see the people. Yeah, this has got to be Shiva. And look at all these people. What's going on with these bodies? It looks like there's something weird going on. Tell me what y'all see, man. This looks like a giant. This definitely has to be Shiva. Look, it looks like there was another giant at the bottom right. I missed. I completely missed that. Another one. It looks like a female. He's got his hand on her.
This should be one of the 7 wonders of the world. The Kailasa. This should be one of the 7 wonders of the world. The Kailasa temple is the oldest single rock carving on our planet. The temple's over 1,000 years old, and it was carved from the top down using only hammer and chisel. The whole project took around 150 years and roughly 7,000 workers, working 16 hours a day. But still, people think aliens did it. No one knows who constructed it or how they did it. Comment below how you think the temple was built. The temple contains some of the most intricate sculptures and carvings ever created. Like and follow for more content like this. This should be one of the 7 wonders.
Undeniable proof the amazing Kailasa Temple of India was built with advanced technology and encoded with knowledge of the 26,000-year precessional cycle of this planet. It's clear a type of advanced machinery was used to carve this temple from the top down, excavating over 400,000 tons of basalt mountainside and maintaining such precision and complexity within these objects. As you can see here, on the top of the temple, we have 4 lions representing the 4 seasons of the great 26,000-year precessional cycle, and lower time frame cycles of 6,480 years and 1,440, all of which are divine numbers and represented by the circles beneath. This very advanced geodetic knowledge can only be held by highly intelligent scientific civilizations. Undeniable proof the amazing Kailasa Temple of India.
What type of civilization could have done that? Now I see. It was all made out of rock? Man, I'm tripping. That's super impressive. It was done out of one complete stone? How impressive is that? How could they do that?
When I first saw this temple, I said there's no way that a temple could be built this way. This is just weird, right? So I started to study the temple more and more. And I realized how crazy it is. It's not humanly possible to build a structure like that. Right? They should have used advanced technology because it is carved out of a single hill. Like it's just a giant. It's not a real. I wouldn't say it's a mountain.
How do you pronounce the name?
Kailasa.
Can you pull that up, Steve? Oh, there you go. Yeah, that is nuts.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so if you see, the way you carve it, it's not like you have to carve the.
You had it. That was it, Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to get more images.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, so you had to carve. You have to scoop out the rocks. Like for example, you see that kind of like they call it the pillar, but it should remind you of an obelisk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you don't carve an obelisk, right? Normally, if I tell you let's make an obelisk, like they have an obelisk in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
They put rocks they put bricks or rocks from the ground level. They keep going up, right? This is the normal construction technique.
Right.
But to create an obelisk like this, you have to carve everything around it.
Hmm.
Okay, that's. I wonder why. Anybody ever wondered why they made an obelisk in Washington D.C.?
You know, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But why did they make it? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you'll see a lot of ancient Egyptian details in Washington D.C.
Really?
Yep. Yep, lots.
So all of this basically was,
Yeah.
this was all one rock. And they carved out all of the negative space
Yeah.
to create this.
Yes.
There's nothing else like this on the Earth, is there? At
are-
least
there
this
are.
the size.
Maybe
There are not this size, yes.
Right.
So I think this was the prototype.
Mm-hmm.
And that create there are structures like this in India, but I think this was the first one that was created with this kind of negative, like top-down approach.
Oh man, top down approach, like some type of UFO come right above it, beam something down and create it. Oh man, he said, "Who do you think created?" He said, "I don't know." You know, Free Mohan, you know.
In Washington D.C.
You know, I don't know the answer to that. But why did they make it? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you'll see a lot of ancient Egyptian details.
Oh my goodness, what is going on at that temple, man? Something is up. It's a whole new Dark Waters 9. This is all new waters. Man, we gotta get to the bottom of this.
The Kailasa temple in India is amazing, but how did they do it? This 1300-year-old architectural marvel was carved out of volcanic basaltic rock with hammer and chisel from top to bottom. Now again, I have to say I just cannot believe that hammer and chisel, I cannot believe they just over all the use. The Kailasa temple in India is amazing, but how did they do it? This 1300-year-old architectural marvel was carved out of volcanic basaltic rock with hammer and chisel from top to bottom. Now again, I have to say I just cannot believe that hammer and chisel were only used. Look at all the intricate detail. Go and Google the Kailasa temple and see all the different artwork, all the detail, and it's just unbelievable. The Kailasa temple is 300 feet long and 175 feet wide and over 100 feet high. And get this, they removed 8 million tons of stone by hand and was built in the 8th century. Now, in my own opinion, I cannot believe they just did this with hammer and chisel. There had to be some kind of technology involved. And if there wasn't, the level of dedication is unreal. The Kailasa temple in India is a...
All right, I have my theory now on how it got built. Check this out.
今天我们在户外用这款30瓦光纤的给大姨雕刻一块石头。大姨呢喜欢招财进宝的这个图案，现在我们给它雕刻。这块鹅卵石呢就大姨随手捡的，不过形状非常不错，雕刻这样羊雕的小石头是非常漂亮的。这是第一遍的一个效果。石头呢雕刻变数越多，深度越深。这款呢不仅雕刻石头，雕刻金属、塑料、陶瓷、皮革都是可以的。做一些创业摆摊、私人定制、线上都没问题。轮廓呢也是非常明显，我们看一下雕刻完成的深度呢，大约是 1.5 毫米左右。大姨非常高兴。
All right, guys. If we take this exact same technology and place it, how long ago was that statue made? 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago? I don't know. But you see this giant white thing? That's what they used. And for all we know, it could have been flying. And they had this attached on the bottom of it. Who knows what other attachments they had? But this was one of them. You want to know how those stones got carved in India? This is it, but on a giant level. All right? They had some technology. You know? Imagine you going around, you want a home? Oh, you want a home over here? Let's just laser 3D print you a home on this canyon. Come on, y'all. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. But that's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing this Indian temple pop off for the first time. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Then it hit me. That laser printing. Look how they're able to do this on stone. Now you got to ask yourself, how did they get this machine in the air? How big of a machine was this? What type of energy could power this machine? Were they able to fly this machine? Yeah, I know, right? Those are the questions. You know, drop in the comments below if you got answers. We'd love to hear them. This isn't a game. They really did this, y'all. You wanted to know how I got built? Here you go. This isn't a game. They had this technology. Now I wonder just how does this technology actually work? How does this laser technology, what type of beam, you know, because there might be, you know, as they say, more than one ways to skin a cat. You know, there might have been some vibration frequency, you know, that coexisted with this somehow too, you know. They might have had some bell vibration. I don't know. But I am interested to see in how this laser technology works.
Sure that no boundaries are carved out. The z-axis drops by 0.03. Today we use a 30-watt fiber laser marking machine to show you how to turn a waste. Today we use a 30-watt fiber laser marking machine to show you how to turn a waste stone into a treasure. Modify the pictures in advance. Place the stone in a sand basin to secure it. Preview the red light position to ensure that no boundaries are carved out. The z-axis drops by 0.035 millimeters per layer. The carving is complete. Enjoy its new look.
Show me how you care. Tell me how.
Today we use a 30.
Sometimes I can't, but I've been told I need to breathe. This life ain't something for someone like you and me. We just get caught up in the things that we don't need. Anytime wasted, what are we waiting for? Searching for something in someone without a soul. Sometimes I can't, but I've been.
I'm starting to think all those ancient structures was 3D printed. On all these temples, all these, you know, megalithic structures, you know, they just aimed a Men in Black beam at it, you know, and it just vaporized the stone. Oh, what you want? Like scrolling through it like an app. What you want? A gargoyle? Damn, aren't you tired of gargoyles? This is your fourth one on this temple, you know? All right, what you want on this? You know what I'm saying? And they select it and then they just beam it, y'all. Come on. You know, how else would they get up there that high? That's where I'm at.
Told I need to breathe. This life ain't something for someone like you and me. We just get caught up in the things that we don't need.
今天我们在户外用这款
Will you throw away such stones? Will you throw away such?
Today, many customers who are interested in stone carving are here. We are using our Today, many customers who are interested in stone carving are here. We are using our 60-watt fiber laser marking machine. In addition to stone, it can also mark metal, plastic, and ceramic. For example, this stone can be engraved in about 20 minutes. Let's take a look at the fineness and effect. Today, many customers who are interested in stone carving. You heard it right, you can easily start a business with just a few waste stones. The fiber laser marking machine excels in stone engraving with high precision, efficiency, durability, and uniform depth. It's adaptable to various stone materials, allowing for flexible and diverse creations. With a few scrap stones and
There it is. They put Guan Yu right on a rock. You know, look how in depth that is.
With a few scrap stones and a fiber laser marking machine, you can kickstart your business. You heard it right, you can easily start a business.
Man, that is the coolest sound effects I ever heard.
Have to chat about this. If you clap at Chichen Itza, it has an echo, except for when you clap in front of the stairs. It sounds like a bird. Now, other than being masters of acoustics, we seem to keep finding things about the ancient empire of America. This 110-mile-long network of roads connected a community of 650 square miles in Guatemala. Most people know about the Pyramid of the Sun and the Moon, but most people don't know how big this thing is. An imposing capital for a nation that included the Olmec and their stone heads, the Toltec with their pyramids and perfect sculptures. Continuing south, we hit Costa Rica, which has tens of thousands of perfectly spherical balls. To see all of this stuff, you have to travel along the longest road ever built by humans, the Inca Road, where you can stop at Machu Picchu, a city that was hidden so well it was lost for hundreds of years, using architectural and agricultural techniques that no one can explain. We sit here and study these people, using stories from the dudes that took their stuff and called them murderers. How convenient. Now, I am from Texas, and I have eyes, and I know who built this place. So if you're a Texcoco, Mexica, Inca, Aztec, Mayan, Olmec, Toltec, Yucatec, Peruvian, there are those here that still remember.
Sounds gets amplified all over the staircase. So that means the staircase is the driver, okay? So as the sounds reach the door, it comes through the speaker. It's not just the door. It became 185, listen, megahertz. From 33 hertz to 185 megahertz, Rodrigo, that's Doppler, baby. I know. What is the Wi-Fi? None. We got a driver. And the driver is the staircase. And the sound you are getting is the water sound. You got it? Activated by the clap, by the energy of the vibration. You got it? But the sound we get there is a Doppler, so that means different modulation. That it means it's a different pitch. Yes or no? What we are doing here is a clap, and the sounds we are getting from that place, it seems to me like a chirping. Pew, 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 pew. Is what you get? And the name of that chirping is named Quetzal. Quetzal, that's the name. There is a god by the Azteca named Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl. You heard that? Quetzalcoatl means plumbed snake, feathered serpent. And Maya, we name it Kukulkan. Kukulkan. You heard that? Hold on. Keep recording. Keep the video, I mean. Now we're gonna do it. Kukulkan. I'm gonna clap 3 times, and you're gonna hear that word coming out there. Kukulkan.
I hear it.
Now
That's
imagine
tight.
that sound. Imagine that sound. 11 miles distance from here. Follow me, baby.
So basically, each one of these dragons that's on the temple has obsidian eyes on each one. You see, each one, that's obsidian. That is nuts.
You know that the Kukulkan temple pyramid of Chichen Itza was designed with 4 staircases. Each staircase was designed with a total of 91 steps. If we add all steps and include the platform, it makes a total of 365 steps, coinciding with the calendar year. What are your thoughts? Do you want to...
Twice a year, the body of a snake appears on the temple of Kukulkan in Chichen Itza, Mexico. This phenomenon occurs on the spring and fall equinoxes. The sun casts a shadow of the stepped pyramid onto the balustrade, forming the profile of the snake, which then ends with the head of the snake at the base of the balustrade. This is possible because the pyramid sits 20 degrees off axis from true north, allowing the sun to hit the steps from an angle onto the balustrade. Kukulkan is a feathered serpent deity that has its...
Shout out to everyone that plays Smite. Y'all know what's up. But that's nuts. How did they know this back in the day?
origins in the Mayan classic period, and it's believed that this optical shadow effect is meant to represent Kukulkan's descent to Earth. Each side of the platform has 91 steps. 91 times 4 is 364, representing each day of the year, plus the top platform, which represents the 365th day of the year. The temple was also built in 3 phases, starting between 500 and 800 AD and ending in about the 12th century AD. The temple was also built on top of a cenote.
How did they know all this lined up back then to build that? How did they know they were that close to true north? I don't get it. How?
They don't call him general or king. They called him Kukulkan. But he's general, the feather serpent god. What? You think because we are living in the mountains, we do not have access to boats?
What a coincidence. Wind tunnel form? Oh my goodness, that's just like the video game.
Kukulkan's third ability is called Whirlwind. Kukulkan summons a tornado covering a radius around his ground target location. A smaller tornado branches off onto any enemies that come within the radius, doing additional damage.
Wow. On the video game, that's one of his moves, is the wind tunnel. So the fact that there's a wind tunnel right outside the Kukulkan temple, that's a ridiculous coincidence. That is super interesting.
Anda enojado. Hey, Kukulkan está enojado.
TikTok user who has pinpointed out a crazy coincidence between her behavior and the temple itself. So I thought I'd take this opportunity and compile all the footage that is online and make a more palatable video for you guys to understand possibly what happened to her spiritually on the way up, and then ultimately what happened to her when she came back down. Let's take a look.
What's stopping her from running up there? There's no gate or nothing?
So originally when this video went viral back in January,
besides the immense respect for this temple, what's stopping anybody else from running up there? You know? There's no gate, there's no nothing. They broke into the Jaguar throne room. What's the significance of the Jaguar throne room? Hey, we gotta hop on the jet ski and dive deeper.
Although the Cambodian pyramid is much smaller than the pyramid in Guatemala, the similarities between the specific design features are uncanny.
Both have an unusually steep slope angle that we don't see in other pyramids. They both have a stepped formation. There's a stairwell going up the middle. There's a domed area on the top. There's a little door that goes in. And there's interior structure that looks the same as well.
You have the civilization in Cambodia and the civilization in Mesoamerica. There are so many parallels, it's incredible. It's unbelievable that scholars haven't until now recognized those parallels. Is it possible that they were working off the same blueprint? And if so, where did that blueprint come from?
We know where it came from.
Scary TikToks that will make you rethink your reality with Jet Ski Chuck. On this episode, they are on one with that ancient tech. I'm not going to hold any of you up. Watch the full video for context and leave my boy Jet a like and sub if you real. This video is for entertainment purposes. Do your own research for everything.
Why does the world hide so much evidence? From the dollar bill, truth is hidden right in front of us. Just look at the top of the pyramid and how it's placed on the dollar bill. How has civilizations just vanished from our sight? Temples displaying very similarities to large circuits. Micro to macro. Could it be that everything is energy? Sacred geometry, the sacred building patterns, the ancient technology. We will dive in. The vibrations, the frequencies. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That looks like some type of starship bus. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That one looks like some type of starship bus. This was caught on someone's security cam. Look at that. It's like it's got people viewing it. I wonder where they're going and what is that? How is the light sucking it in like that? How is the... Wow.
Jet, did you just see how that wall just lit up like that? That's gotta be that ancient technology. I bet they would have this whole bitch charged up if they was here.
X5, watch your mouth, man. You gonna get me hemmed up, bro.
My bad, family, I get excited.
We gotta see that again. It's like the stone was absorbing the light. Man, they charging something up.
This half in Egypt, and this half in the British Museum. And this you make it in Egypt. Actually don't make it in England. Sorry about this.
Think I found his statue.
This half in Egypt, and this half in the British Museum. And this you make it in Egypt. Actually don't make it in England. Sorry about this.
Think I found his statue.
This half.
Come on, bro, you still can't think that the Egyptian pyramids were actually just tombs. It's quite obvious that our history books are wrong, and here's why. Number 1, the Great Pyramids don't contain any of the things found in Egyptian tombs. No mummies, artifacts, or sealed entrances. What our books labeled as tombs that were found near the pyramids were just these huge granite boxes, which have no trace of mummies and are obviously too large to fit.
That might be that old storage battery unit that was absorbing that light earlier.
A human. Number 2, it's built with unique materials used to conduct power. For example, the so-called Queen's Chamber, which contains this, as well as carefully crafted copper wiring. As you can see, it also contains instruction symbols drawn next to it, just like the batteries we use today. The tunnels inside the pyramid are also lined with granite, a conductor of piezoelectricity which allows for a large current of energy to flow through it. Not to mention the limestone, dolomite, and gold, all being some of the most electrically conductive materials on Earth. So you tell me if they were just tombs. Come on, bro, you still...
You know, after watching how that stone was absorbing that light and listening to Lil Bro, it kind of makes you think.
These are 3,000-year-old Egyptian sandals. Look at the state of preservation. It's just amazing. They're like flip-flops in the National Museum of Denmark in Copenhagen. These are 3,000-year-old
Damn, look how big that is, bro. This looks like it's breathing. It says it's in Scotland. That is nuts.
Because of oil, but something way more powerful. In the 1920s, a British explorer discovered what was rumored to be the oldest known stargate in the world, a device that's essentially able to take people across interstellar distances instantly. It was located at what is known today as the Great Ziggurat. However, in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein fortified the ancient complex in an attempt to keep explorers from seeing what was hidden inside. Furthermore, strange ancient technology has been seen coming out of the Great Ziggurat, rumored to have come through the Stargate from an ancient civilization now living on the hidden planet, Nibiru. People who have come out and spoken about these strange devices and coincidentally went missing soon after. with many more people in recent times coming forward, claiming to have been involved in classified programs in Iraq where Stargate technology was used. Many people are wondering, what was Iraq actually hiding? There's a theory that the U.S. stayed in Iraq for over a decade after.
Yeah, we make a video. Go now. Okay. It's okay.
New discovery, ancient technology. It's lit up. Level 9 waters.
This way. Yeah. This short way. The short way? Oh. So we take the short way. Back.
Bro, we are in level 9 waters. Darkness 9 waters. Look at this. It's underground.
Oh, jetzt sind wir unten. Vorher mal oben schauen, das kann man unten. Oh, cool. Amazing. Cool. Now we're the first.
Wow. New discovery.
Has been unique. Has been.
This is the same place? Wow. That is interesting. Y'all see those artifacts? Was that located inside of it? The one on the top kind of looks like Medusa. It resembles Mayan. We need more information on this. It was like 3 different levels underground. That was nuts.
That ancient Egyptians left behind. The 24 stone coffins. Each of these colossal coffins, weighing around 100 tons, was transported into an underground artificial cave system. The coffin situated at the pinnacle of this junction promises to unveil profound secrets. Despite the cave's tight and treacherous corridors, which complicate any transport or crafting process, these coffins were abandoned here as untouched stone blocks. Interestingly, their lids are found at the cave's entrance, suggesting that these enormous stone blocks were imported from outside. To reach their designated chamber, they had to be maneuvered through these confined passageways, where they were then meticulously shaped and set in place. Every coffin is impeccably carved and polished, boasting perfect 90-degree angles. The internal surfaces gleam with such smoothness that they mirror reflections. The feat of carving such intricate designs from solid rock remains a marvel. The stone had to be chiseled on all sides. This craftsmanship is so precise that it almost seems as if these coffins were shaped using modern laser technology.
This is the strangest island I've ever seen. Located in the Parada Delta in Buenos Aires, Argentina, there sits a small island called El Ojo, with a size of approximately 120 meters in diameter. The strange thing is that this island is able to rotate on its own axis. The whole island is incredibly solid, unlike the land surrounding it. And furthermore, the water around the island is super clear and cold, which is really strange considering the climate that El Ojo is in. People have speculated that this is an entrance to a UFO base placed on Earth before the human civilization ever began. This has gotten many people saying, "This is the strangest..."
Ancient people had advanced technology. Let's take a look. Well, for once, they created architecture that still puzzles scientists to this day, such as the pyramids of Giza. All we have is theories, but we have no idea how they did it. Even with our modern tech, we don't know how to replicate what they did. Ancient people worked with difficult stones such as granite, one of the hardest materials on Earth. They created amazing architecture and design that almost looked 3D printed. They created huge bronze statues such as the Colossus of Rhodes, which is 108 feet. This site is known as Pumapunku in Bolivia. To this day, these stones puzzle scientists. These stones in Pumapunku in Bolivia are having archaeologists and scientists scratching their heads. They say that it's absolutely impossible creating these structures with hammer and chisel. The only way to make this is with power tools, advanced technology. So much for the ancient people being primitive. Maybe we're the primitive ones. They even have drill holes that don't look man-made, but made with some type of advanced power tool. Their structures have stood the test of time, while our newly built roads can't even last a few years. Now the question is, what happened to them? I'm starting to believe that ancient people had advanced technology.
Several of them have been discovered over the years. Very few, if any, pyramidions have actually been discovered perched atop a pyramid. To date, the earliest pyramid...
I believe the pyramidion is the very top of the pyramid.
Pyramidion was discovered in 1982. Was there ever a capstone on the Great Pyramid? Nobody is certain, although visitors to the pyramid dating back to the time of Christ have all consistently claimed that it was missing a capstone. If you look closely, you'll even notice the Great Pyramid featured on a dollar bill, appearing with a flat top. Another suggestion is that capstones, which were occasionally constructed of gold, were taken as the initial target. The only drawback is how substantial of a capstone it would be. As many have done, you could stroll around the pyramid very freely if you made it to the top. Each direction is around 30 feet long. This capstone would have been enormous and extremely heavy. On the peak, there would also be a structure that resembled a mast or a flagpole. Actually, 2 astronomers put it there in 1874 to indicate where the pyramid's true apex would have been if it had been completed. British inventor Sir Siemens was one such person.
Sometimes scary artifacts found right here on Earth. The Saqqara Bird, pictured right here, was found in 1898 in Egypt. It's also known as the Egyptian plane. Through the amazing research of scientists and archaeologists, they have actually come to the conclusion that the Egyptians were the first to discover airplanes. The problem is that the site that they found the Saqqara Bird in is now closed down, and nobody has been allowed to go in and find anything else that has been left in that burial.
Reminds me of Bug's Life. You remember when they had to build that bird?
Ground. It's unbelievable now to think about civilizations that were way more advanced than we ever thought they could possibly be. They were actually much more advanced than we are now, but we are just now finding out.
What? If you guys made it this far, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And I appreciate you guys so much for joining me on these waters every day, man. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, have a good one. I love you guys. Peace out.